All right. All right, y'all. We back again. Get started here in a second. Got a few things to talk about tonight. I said I'm looking forward to getting back on here Wednesday. Just some different things I wanted to discuss. So I said I can't wait till Wednesday come, man. I just want to talk about some of this, some of this some of this crazy stuff going on, of course, in WMMA. Well, not too much. It's really, the situation with Nicco Montano. I mean, it's pretty much been solved, so I ain't gonna spend too much time on that. But I just want to talk about the flyweight division again, man. So we're gonna get started here in a minute. We're gonna talk about the flyweight division again because we just been having a lot of good matchups being made. Two Beats, what's up, man? We'll get started here in about another 20, 30 seconds here. Just get situated. Man, but before I do that, man, I need to talk about this Vanessa Porto and Alara Yawani fight. Let me do a quick breakdown of that fight. I just watched it. I just watched it because I was so busy. And that was one of the fights that I missed this past Saturday. Because, Bellator was on Saturday instead of Friday this time. So I said, I got to go back and watch this fight, man. It was on the prelims for 263. So I said, let me go back and check this fight out. And, I'll go ahead and do a little post-fight analysis, post-fight review of that flyweight fight. So, yeah, man. Flyweight talk all around. So let me go ahead and get this thing up. So, yeah, man, welcome back, y'all. Got about 8 or 9 people in here right now. So, yeah, we go get started. Welcome back to another live stream. Of course, I'm Combo Breaker 99. Got two beats in the building. And for y'all in here, if you want to leave your opinions on any of the flyweight matchups on the screen, feel free to do so. And let's talk about this fight real quick. Vanessa Porto and Alara Yawani. If y'all got a chance to check it out, watched it, and I have to say, hold on, let me post up the picture right here. There we go. Yeah, man, Vanessa Porto versus Alara Yawani. Just got done watching the fight, and look, I'm a fan of Vanessa Porto. I give her all the credit in the world for all the work she's been laying down, and all the names she has on her resume, all the work she's put in. I felt like the UFC kind of did her dirty, not signing her to the flyweight division. And, she's a veteran in the game. She's been around forever. She's got a lot of top names on her resume. She's got a Hall of Fame resume. But with that being said, Vanessa Porto in this fight here, I can't lie, man. I think Alara Yawani, she was just on another level, in my opinion. Of course, as y'all know, Vanessa Porto, she got the split decision in this fight. But in my eyes, in my opinion, I think Alara Yawani, she did enough to win this fight. I can see where it's one of those situations where the judges, they tend to look at takedowns again. But if you go back and look at the first 2 rounds, like Alara Yawani, to me, she was just so much more effective at, just stopping the offense of Vanessa Porto. And by doing that, she was just showcasing hand speed, and she was just being so much quicker on the draw and just making Vanessa Porto follow her and fight behind her. So to me, I think that Yawani, she bagged the first 2 rounds, and then Vanessa Porto, she came on strong, and, she was just really taking the fight to the ground. And she still wasn't that effective on the ground, in my opinion. I think Vanessa Porto was bagging takedowns. She got like 3 in the 3rd round, but to me, I don't think the takedown that she got in the 2nd round should have really been scored that high. She only had like a little bit of ground control time, and it was still Yawani's round pretty much. She controlled it with the striking. She controlled the stand-up. And again, she had the quick submission attempt in the 2nd round. So I think Yawani just did enough all around to win the fight. And this is one time I agree with the commentators. They were like, I don't think Vanessa Porter won this. You know, she's gonna have to come back strong in the third round. And at the end of the third round, it was like, okay, Vanessa Porter had a strong third round, but it wasn't enough to win the fight because Joanna did enough to win rounds 1 and 2. I mean, real quick, going back and looking at the fight, right away, round 1, Joanna, she came out just letting her hands go. You know, she met Porter in the center, and they were trading a few shots, but it was Joanna that was landing more punches. You know, she was landing good right hands and, you know, a lot of low kicks. You know, she was landing a lot of nice low kicks to the lead leg of Porter and body kicks. And then Joanna, she got into that nice tie clinch and was landing some good knees on Vanessa Porter. You know, I was like, wow, she's really showcasing some strength here on the veteran. You know, she was really like putting some good work in here. You know, she's landing these knees, being effective, and just all around controlling with combinations. You know, she was throwing body punches, head punches, and just countering Porter. I mean, Porter, she had a few good counter shots, but not enough to win the round. You know, head kicks from Joanna. Vanessa Porter was just really fighting behind Joanna and just waiting. And I just had to give the round to Joanna. You know, she was landing effective jabs, right hands, had Porter bleeding at the end of the round. Just good movement, you know, just outstriking her all the way. And then in the second round, I think Porter, she was coming on better with her leg kicks, but it was Joanna still throwing bombs. You know, she was still controlling the fight with bombs. And Porter, you know, she landed like maybe 1 or 2 good counter punches again, but it was still Joanna. Body kicks, 1, 2, just backing Porter up. Porter did punch her way in and take the fight to the ground, but Joanna bounced back up, and then she got taken down again, of course. And Porter was in the guard of Joanna, landing a few body shots here and there, but it was Joanna who was locking in that guillotine whenever she got taken down again, and it looked like she was going for that. She was about to get the submission, but she wasn't able to. But I think Joanna, she did enough on the feet and just with that controlling the fight off of her back to win the round. I mean, it was kind of close, but I would still give it to Joanna. So right there, I thought she did enough to win the fight. Of course, the third round, Joanna, she was slowing down a little bit, jabbing, throwing her leg kicks, still landing punches. Porter was just kind of waiting. I think she was just waiting for that opening to, you know, take the fight to the ground. So Joanna, you know, she took a big chance. She missed with the spinning back fist, and I mean, that was an opener right there for Porter. She took the fight back down to the ground, and again, like I said, when she bounced, this was this round when she bounced up. The third round, Porter took her down a second time, and I think that's where the judges kind of swayed this round to her because Porter was pretty much controlling the top position, you know. But in that last minute, I think that Joanna, she did some effective work again, landing combinations, just jabbing her way in. But it was whenever she missed like one shot and Porter switched levels and, you know, got that big slam. You know, she picked her up and slammed her, and it was it was a big slam, and she went in for that submission attempt. But to me, that wasn't enough to win the round because she wasn't able to submit her. You know, she did control the third round, in my opinion, but I still think that Joanna did enough to win the fight all around. BJ, what's up, man? I don't know, man. It's one of them. I didn't really want to. When I watched the fight, I was like, oh man, here we go again. I gotta address these judges again, man. Like, what's going on? Like, these judges all the time. It's always something with the judges. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they don't know what to look for. It's like they don't know what to look for in these fights. I'm like, what did Joanna have to do to prove that she won the fight? You know, how much more work did she have to do in there? Controlled the first round. Okay, she got that. The second round, she controlled it on her feet for about 3 minutes. It wasn't until like the 2-minute mark when Porto came in with a takedown, and she didn't do much with it. Even in the third round, when she took Joanna down, what's his name? Herzog had to stand him back up because not much was happening, right? So he stood him back up, and once again, Joanna's controlling the fight, so she gets taken down again. So yeah, I give Porto that round, but really, to me, I think that Joanna won the fight. You know. But my final thoughts, though, as far as the performance of Vanessa Porter, as a veteran, I kind of think, I don't know if you agree with me on this, BJ, or any of y'all, if y'all follow Vanessa Porter that closely. Like, look, I'm a fan of her, but it kind of seems like she's slowing down a little bit, like she's losing a step. I don't know if that's just me, but it kind of seems like Vanessa Porto's kind of losing the step a little bit. Maybe she just needs to kind of pick it up more. Maybe it's a quick turnaround, but maybe it's just the lack of inactivity. Maybe because she hasn't fought anybody with that fast pace, as of lately. Because Liz Carmouche, she came into Bellator from UFC and she's been racking up wins. You know what I mean? Joanna, she's a young contender that wants to come in there and just fire. She just wants to go at it. But I don't know, man. I think Vanessa Porto might. I hate to say she might be towards the end of her career, but it just seems like if a young gun like Joanna was giving her that type of trouble, I can imagine what somebody like Denise Kielholtz would do to her. Let me see. Vanessa Porto, like I said, she's been around a minute. Yeah, she's 37. She up there. I don't give away my age, but yeah, she's up there with me. Yeah, Vanessa Porto, man. Yeah, she's got a nice resume, man. She's been around for a minute, y'all. So I don't know. This might be one of those turnarounds, So yeah, BJ. Yeah, like she hasn't fought a lot, and the pace that she's fighting at in Bellator. Let's not lie. These flyweights in Bellator, they will push you. Like I know we're always looking at the UFC flyweights, but yeah, 37. I said, I don't know, man. Like Bellator's flyweights can still push you to a higher level than what was in Invicta. That's why Vanessa Porto, I think, coming over here in between that inactivity, when you face somebody like Carmouche, and you face somebody like Joanna who's ready to work and ready to climb these rankings, it's gonna kind of throw you out of your usual routine of fighting. Because I mean, when you go back and look at her early career, man, Hall of Fame resume, man. I mean, wins over GDR. She's fought Amanda Nunes. She's beat Jennifer Maia. Who else did she beat? Roxanne Modafferi, Karina Rodriguez, Pearl Gonzalez. So many names. She's fought a lot of names, and I'm just kind of thinking that if she doesn't have that type of that momentum and that consistency, it's going to kind of just continue to go downhill. She's just going to kind of go downhill from here. To be said, I told you every action should have a point attached to each occurrence. Then whoever total is higher at the end wins. Yeah. I've said that before. Yeah, we always said that. Wherever I guess you're referring to what I was saying, or I don't remember that. Every action should have a point attached to each occurrence. As far as like a submission attempt, right? Yeah, I always said that. Yeah, whenever you have you control the fight off of your back. Submission attempt, you defend the takedown. To me, those are moments that show that you should win the round. Like, I don't think a lot of these judges really score defense. We're not scoring defense enough. Like, if you can slip and counter, or if you can slide out of a takedown, or you can scramble out of a takedown, I kind of think that stuff needs to be scored, But yeah, I think Alara Joanna is definitely a fighter that's gonna elevate from here. She didn't really show too many weaknesses in this fight. I mean, she did kind of slow down in the third round, maybe just kind of work on her takedown defense a little bit. But even then, like, she was pretty good on her back. That's why I say it's hard to say. It's really hard for me to pick a weakness in this fight because I think she won it. I think she did enough to win the fight. She just all around bagged 2 good rounds, similar to how Maverick did to Barber, right? Combination punching. She stayed out of the way of the grappler. I mean, not till the third round, but she did enough to clearly win. Because from here, man, Porto, they push her up against some of the fighters like Denise Kielholtz and so on. It's going to be tough. It'll be tough for her. But yeah, man, let's jump to this next topic here. I do like the Bellator flyweight division though. I do care about what goes on there. I know people will think we always just talk about the UFCs, but I do like it. I do keep up with it just as much. Mr. Lee said, I honestly couldn't tell you who won this fight, not to mention they look like twins. That's what one of the commentators said. Like, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a clear-cut winner. I mean, maybe you were kind of looking at both at the same time, but yeah, I thought it was a clear-cut winner. Because again, you know, if a takedown is scored and not much is done with it, I can't really give that person that round, especially if you bounce back up from it. Bungalow said whether or not a strike is significant is a matter of opinion, so the title stats never really tell the story. Whether or not a strike is significant. I think it's clear what a significant strike is, though. I mean, significant strike, they don't count jabs. Seems like they don't count jabs. Significant strikes seem like they're just counting power punches. I mean, a significant power punch that lands. I mean, it's clear if it hits the face or if it hits the body and, you know, gets a reaction, to me, that's a significant strike. I mean, as long as it's not hitting the guard, you know, a significant strike to me should be clear cut. There should be sort of a clear cut explanation on what it is. I mean, that's why it's called significance. I mean, that's why you're taught to punch people in the face. You know, you're not taught to just hit them on the arms and hit them on the shoulders. I mean, you can, but the same way your trainer will teach you, these are significant strikes. So it's not really just a matter of opinion. I mean, it's pretty clear what is significant strike. I mean, as far as the judges, because they don't really know what they're looking for. So it does kind of turn into an opinion then because they don't know what to score. I mean, from the outside looking in, somebody knows what a significant strike is. I'm going to say, okay, everything that Ioane was landing on the head and knocking Vanessa Porto back and opening up the nose and causing her to leak, those are significant strikes. Right? So yeah, what's next though? Oh man. Right, Mark. A significant strike is when you get hit flush. So it's not really an opinion. You know what I mean? Like you just can't say, okay, I consider that a significant strike if it like brushes on the hand. To me, it should just be the strike that hits you flush. That's why it goes back to what I was saying the other day about judges. Like judges need to have like a crash course on what are clean punches, what should be scored, how high it should be scored, and kind of go from there. You know what I mean? Like it should just have some type of course where they have to understand that. They have to have it broken down to them if they haven't fought before. Like you just can't say, okay, something that touches the hand is going to be a significant strike. Like if you throw 4 or 5 punches and you hit somebody on the guard versus somebody that throws throws a good double left hook that hits you right in the ribs and hits you right on the temple, you know, that's significant to me. Bungalow said Nunes was credited for more significant strikes in the second Valentina fight than she really landed. Yeah, and yeah, that goes to what you were saying. Like, it turns into more of an opinion whenever these judges that don't know what to look for, score it. Ravioli's hard just because not every significant strike is equal. All right. So, yeah. Vanessa Porto, Lara Ioane. It was a good fight. Lara Ioane. Good fight. I still see a lot of potential in Ioane. You know, maybe if she just starts to work on the takedown defense a little bit more, work on the gas tank, you know, kind of fight more economical. The first round was good. I like the pace she did fight at, but it seemed to kind of slow her down in the third round. But I could still see some good things coming out of her. Like, Ioane versus Kana Watanabe, that would be a good fight. I think she could beat her. Put her in there with who else is in this flyweight rankings? Kate Jackson, Vanessa Porto, though. She needs to be tested again. Continue to kind of fight at a more consistent pace against these young guns, and that'll kind of probably wake something up in her if she still has a few more years on her. But let's jump to. Let me get rid of this picture here. Let's talk a little bit about this. I already dropped the video real quick on it, but let's go ahead and discuss this situation. Right, it's just recently happened. I'll be brief on this before we get to the flyweight talk, so we can talk about this real quick. All right. So y'all already heard Nicco Montano. She's been released from the UFC, and let me see what Dana White had to say recently. I had it right here. Nicco Montano finally released from the UFC. And to me, like I was saying earlier, I think this was for the best. It's definitely for the best at this point. After that situation with the weight, it was pretty much already being discussed. Like Dana White said, this might not be the sport for her. And when he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, you think so? Because it seems like the one thing Nicco had down was just the fighting aspect. The part where you just get in there and you perform. And that's just any type of way. But it seemed like the other parts of the sport were really hard for her to put together, to become a complete fighter in the business. Like, you can be a fighter, you can be a gym fighter, right? You can be a fighter that just goes to the octagon or to the ring and, you fight. You can fight exhibitions, you can fight amateurs, you can fight pro fighters in sparring, but there's another level to being a fighter for an organization. You have to meet special requirements, and one of those requirements is the weight, right? One of those things is the weight, and that's one of the hardest things for Nicco Montano to tackle. 2017, it's now 2021. How many times has she fought? 2 times, right? Only 2 times in the span of 4 years. More pullouts than actual fights, man. So that's telling you something right there. Like, something's wrong here. Like, yeah, this girl, we can say she has the heart of a warrior, but like, what about the heart of the warrior in the business mind here? Like, you're costing the UFC money with all these pullouts, especially when you show up to the weigh-in. Everything is supposed to be a go. Wu Yanan is ready. She's prepared. She's on weight. But then when you show up at the scale, 7 pounds over, I think that's kind of the last straw. I mean, it's one thing if you pull out a month ahead of time. Like, if you say, okay, I can't take this fight, and you give them time to prepare, they'll be pissed because you're not fulfilling your contract, right? They'll be pissed at you because you're not fulfilling your contract. But they can kind of put you to the side and kind of decide what to do with you later. And that's kind of how it has been with Nicco Montano whenever she's pulled out before. When she's got popped, when she's tested positive, when she's had other medical issues, other weight issues, they just bring somebody in, right? But this time around, it was like, no, this is it. You show up, you come in at a featherweight. No, it's time to go. It's just time to go. And like I said, for me, it's not like, I don't want to make it seem like, oh man, this is a harsh thing or like a punishment. I mean, it's just to teach you some discipline at this point. I mean, it's time to stop trying to, just continue to say I'm a UFC fighter if you're not backing it up by showing up with fights. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't continue to say, oh, I am part of the UFC if you're not coming in and, abiding by these rules, and you coming in on weight and being fair to your opponent. You know what I mean? So I think it was a good idea. I think it's something that should have been done back in, beginning of 2020, so, or probably after she had got popped that one time, because that's just so much going on right there, so do I dislike Nicco? No, not at all. I don't dislike her because, like I said, I don't know what she's going through, but from my perspective, let's say me as a fight fan, I'm sure y'all as fight fans, and also looking more into the business mind of it, I would say, yeah, you got to go. This is very unprofessional. I'm just keeping it straight across the line like that. It's very unprofessional, and I would be disappointed, and I would fire you. I would cut you. Because like I said, I got people like that in the workplace where might be a cool person and all, but, if you ain't showing up and you ain't reliable, man, I got the can you behind, So I just don't want people to think, oh, I'm out bashing her. Nah, not at all. I mean, everything I'm calling it is just what I see. And that's my opinion. That's just my opinion that she, it was the right thing to cut her. It was the right thing to cut her because, yeah, it don't seem like the sport is for her. Really don't. It really don't seem like it is for her, man. I mean, whatever organization she goes to, I think it'll be the same way. So if people suggest an organization, man, like that ain't going to do no good. It really ain't going to do no good. Let me see here. Bungalow said Dana said last week that she had 3 or 4 fights called off and the writing was on the wall. Yeah, she had more than that. Yeah, because I was actually counting the cancellations. She had who'd she cancel with? Of course, she canceled the Valentina fight. Then she canceled the Julia Avila fight twice. Then she canceled Macy Chiasson fight. And then there was like 2 or 3 other fights. So there was like a good 8 or 9 fights that she might have canceled. Yeah. That's why I brought that up in my video earlier. Like, she canceled maybe like a good 8 or 9 times. Because every time I would post something about a fight, it would be like, oh, nope, that fight's getting canceled. So it's a lot more than that. Like, Dana's probably just talking about like maybe as of recently. But let me pull something up here. And we can kind of look at who she canceled against. Yeah. Look, the Sarge fight, of course, that one wasn't her fault. That was like the Sarge weight issue at the time, right? No, was it her? Hold on, I'm just trying to look how they worded this here. Oh, the Sarge fight. Yeah, because Sarge was having some weight issues, but she's been back on it. Okay, so let's start with the legit one. Shevchenko. She canceled that fight. Supposed to fight Sarah McMahon. Canceled that fight. Macy Chiasson. That's 3, right? And then I'm going to count these as 3 as well. She was supposed to fight Julia Avila 3 times. It was canceled 3 times. So to me, that's 6. You know what I mean? Because that's each time is an announcement and it's a card spot. They're trying to fill you in. So Avila, that counts as 3 times. All in 2020. Kel Rosa, that was another fight. I remember that fight was supposed to happen. Kel Rosa. Then now, Wu Yanan. Yes, it was, BJ. It's that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just being real. I'm gonna be real with it. I ain't gonna hide this stuff, man. It was 8 times. And I'm counting each time you pull out of a fight. So if you pull out of the Avila fight 3 times, that counts as 3 absences. Just like if you do a job, you pull out of a job 3 times, that's 3 absences, BJ. So that's 8 times. Come on. It's been 8 times. I mean, it's been 4 years and she only fought twice. She only fought twice in 4 years. It's got to be that many times. Because I seen it every time there was an announcement. I talked about it or I was going to pull it up. So it's 8 times. I've been counting. Like, I counted up to 5 whenever I was just keeping track of this back in 2020. But now it is a total of 8. I know you want to defend her here, but I mean, shoot, this ain't the time to try to defend Nicco right here. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm looking at your absences. No. You tardy for the party. You ain't coming through. And like I said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's really, really going on in her camp, but what's being shown is somebody that, is not performing and is not doing any benefit to the company, right? So that's the only way I'm looking at it. Like I said, like I'm not in any way putting her down. I'm just calling everything that's being said here, everything that she's doing. And then I could just say, well, don't look like this seems like a UFC type of fighter. It's one thing if you have an active fighter like Hannah Cyphers that answers the call, she might lose, but at least she'll come in and she'll make weight, right? At least that fighter's coming to make weight. But this, they come and make weight and they fight, but they might lose, but at least they're there. They're a body. That's why Dana White and the UFC, they can depend on fighters like that because, why? Because they're still a body and they're reliable. But if you always continue to just play this game, you're signed with us, but you don't show up. Why do we keep you? To be said she don't want to fight you, she don't take it seriously. Exactly. That was my point. That's my point. Like when you're somebody that's trying to make money, you always have to look at it that way. It's not about whether you like the person or not. Like, yeah, she's a warrior. Yeah, she can fight, but like, can she put everything together? That's what I used to say about that's what I was saying about Rose before. Like Rose Namajunas, whenever she was taking a while to sign the Zhang Wei Li fight, it was kind of seeming like she was a martial artist, but she wasn't really wanting to do the business side anymore. Whenever she first lost the Andrade fight, and she was, kind of like, it's a relief to me. It's a relief that I no longer have the belt. It's like a big relief. So it kind of seemed like she was somebody that liked fighting, liked the martial arts, but she didn't want to really do the business side of it. But she put it together in April. Rose came back and did that. But with Nicco, she's kind of battling that, like the weight, staying disciplined, committing to a fight. All of that seems like a problem for her. Like the part, taking a punch, throwing a punch, taking somebody down, that's no problem for her. But you can't get to that part if you don't make weight. BJ said, what if Nicco signed with Bellator? It's going to be the same thing, BJ. It's going to be the same thing. If she chooses to fight it, chooses to fight it featherweight, maybe not. But she's the same person. She's the same person. Wherever she go, it's going to be the same thing. She signed to Bellator. She tried to make 135 there. Well, there ain't really no bantamweights in Bellator. So if she signs to Bellator, she's going to have to be a featherweight. And if that's no problem for her to make that weight, then yeah. But if she still has the other same issues before, outside of weight, then it's not going to do her any good. Yeah, it's really, it's really not the weight that's the issue with her. It's her. So I was just looking at, some other fighters, always missing weight here and there, and then all of a sudden when they get to the right people behind them that tells them they need to stop being so lazy. Best word to put it, lazy. There's a lot of fighters out here that act like they had trouble making weight, but as soon as they get on the right plan and the right mindset, they find it was them. They find it was them, because who else is Sarge? Sarge. Granted, we still need to see her do a couple more fights, make the weight a few more times for flyweight, but hey, she told everybody, look, I feel good at flyweight. It was me. I had to get right mentally. I had to get right spiritually. I had to get where I needed to be and get on the right plan to get down to this weight. And she's making it sound like it's not a problem. It's not a problem for her anymore. That's why I hope Sarge can stick with that. I hope she can. I mean, I would like to see her fight at featherweight if that's where her, body's going to take her. I mean, shoot. Yeah, two beats. We have ONE FC don't really have 135, and Bellator doesn't really either. So Invicta, just going down to Invicta and kind of going the humble route back down to Invicta. It is crazy too, man. Like, I remember watching her on the Tough Show. I like that edition. I like mostly all the women's editions. They always had good. They always had good fights and good backstories, man. Like I know my favorite one was the strawweight edition. The Tough House, with the strawweights, that was probably the best. Way back in 2014, but this one, man, with Tough House, it had Sarge, Roxanne, Barb Honchak, Nicco, Montana. It had all of them in there, and I like what I saw out of Nicco in there. I like the performances she was putting on and the heart she was showing. So I was like, okay, this girl is going somewhere. She was really moving forward towards something. And when her and Sarge was supposed to fight, I was like, this is going to be a tough fight. I thought it was 50-50. Of course, that fight didn't happen. Roxanne, she got to step in. Sarge was out. Nicco, put the work in on Roxanne. I mean, she took it to her. And when she got that belt, I was like, okay, here we go. Next thing you know, when Valentina moved down and, it was like, oh, I want to fight you for the belt, which it was legit. Valentina had a good track record at 135. She's going to be the first title defense. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was like, okay, I like what I see in Nicco, but the skill level of Valentina is so much different. So much different. But with the heart Nicco had, I thought Nicco was going to be able to put up a good fight and at least still earn a rep of fighting the best. I just keep thinking back to that year 2018, what if that fight happened? Nicco might have lost, but you'll never know if you don't get into the octagon. Of course, the fans are already going to say, oh, this person going to kill you, but they don't know. Fans never know either. We don't know for 100%. You give yourself a chance when you step into the octagon. And I think, Nicco kind of robbed herself of that opportunity. She definitely did. I think that would have built her stock up more if she would have put on a good fight. And if she did lose, her reputation still would have been high. And that would have been more motivation for her. But, they chose the other route. I know they were having weight issues. I still got to see this documentary, but I don't know, man. That was a big fight. That was a big money-making fight, and that was a big opportunity where get the right people around you, get that weight to 125, fight Valentina, however it go, you'll still be seen as a warrior. That's just me. That's just me. That's why when I kept hearing this fight was being pulled out and Nicco wasn't really acknowledging the fight, I was kind of like, damn, man, what's going on? What's really going on? And to me, like I said, no fighter is scared of another fighter. I don't think it's that type of situation, but it could just be a brand thing. Most of the times when a fighter wins a belt, their first couple title defenses are usually cream puffs. I'm kind of thinking boxing, you know what I mean? When I'm thinking boxing, that's how I usually go in boxing. It's kind of a quick, easy, quick fights. And then you usually get that hard fight. But, she was jumping right in with the Valentina fight. But if that's the way it's going to be, that's the way you got to do it. You got to take that fight. And I think that if she would have taken that fight, she would have learned a lot from it. I think she would have learned a lot from it. That's just me. Again, I think she would have learned a lot from that fight and where she was at. And yeah, man. But I never went on record, and I'm never going to go on record to call the person a coward because you never know what they're going through. When when the fight didn't happen, I was disappointed. I just don't know the full story. You know, I don't know the full story because I'm not in her camp. I'm not in her head. So I'm never going to call her a coward. Never going to call anybody that unless they really, really give me reason to. But she hadn't, after everything she's done, still hadn't given me reason to call anybody a coward. Or her a coward in this situation. Unprofessional, need to seek discipline. Yeah, of course. I think we all need that sometime, right? Some of y'all maybe a little bit more. But for her situation, for them cutting her, that's a good thing, just to kind of get her to go back and think, do I really want to fight? Is Bellator going to make a difference? Invicta going to make a difference? Still got to make weight. You still got to stay in fighting shape somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, BJ said Nicco versus Valentina would have been a scrap. Yeah, it would have been a scrap. I think it would. Like, I still think, Valentina had the technical abilities to do what she needed to do, but what I saw from Nicco in the Tough House, she was very rough and rugged. Like, she wasn't taking no for an answer with her style. She wasn't taking any prisoners whenever she was going in there to fight. That's why I was like, maybe we're gonna see another pound for pound lady coming into WMMA. But it didn't work out that way, man. It really didn't. I mean, what do y'all think of that, too? Like, people calling her the worst UFC champion of all time. I'm like, dang, that's harsh. That is harsh, man. I saw somebody post something where it said, the worst UFC champion of all time. I'm like, dang, man, that is harsh. Like, again, like, calling somebody the worst, especially if you never won the strap before and you never been submitted or punched in the face, that ain't for you to call. That really ain't for you to call, man. Because you had some people hold belts for long times and, they might be on something, just because they held the belt a long time and, certain people might have been on something. So you have to look at it in that perspective as well. So. But yeah, man, I just wanted to go back and talk about that a little bit more with y'all. What y'all think about it? Yeah, Stamina. Nicco only needed to not get blown out. Look how much more people respect Meyer for her moral victory in there now. I hate that, but that's how the fandom and media do it, right? Yeah. Yeah, because I've always said I don't believe in moral victories, but it's like an unwritten rule. It's an unwritten rule. If you go in there and you give it your all, your stock will go up, no doubt. Look at Cowboy. When you're known to fight anybody, you'll still get big checks, or you'll be put on a card, or like look at Hannah Cyphers, you'll be put on a card quicker than some of these divas. You know what I mean? So if you show some type of heart and you can withstand. And you can stay in there for 5 rounds, which I think Nicco could have. I think Nicco could have stayed in there for 5 rounds. If you're tough and you're durable, you can stay in there for 5 rounds. BJ said literally no other girl from that show would have not fought Valentina had they been champion. Yeah, I think Sarge would have fought. If she just didn't have them issues, I think Sarge would have been there. Just Sans Production, what's up? He said worst, no. She had some skill, but most unprofessional, definitely. Right. Yeah. That's why I say, yeah. Unprofessional, yeah, all day long. All day long, but, definitely not the worst, man. Marcus said, most of the time when fighters duck, it's more like that fighter can do for them as far as rankings go or money-wise. Right, yeah, that's what I want to talk about real quick, Marcus. That's a good point. I had that in my head. I forgot it. It just slipped out when I went in. That's another situation. Like, when I brought up the fact that she probably wanted to fight like a easy fight, maybe take a couple easy fights first. She wanted to get some money and kind of build a name up. But taking on Valentina as a first title defense, that's high risk, low reward. Y'all heard of that before. High risk, low reward. It's like Carla Esparza's situation right now. Like Carla, yeah, she'll fight the 5-fight. She'll go on a 5-fight winning streak, and she'll fight these names. But the one name I wouldn't put her in there with is, what is her name? Joanna. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't take Joanna on before a title shot. That's one fight I would understand if she was going to avoid, because style-wise it don't work. And I know it's two different situations, but style-wise it ain't going to work. But style-wise, it's a nightmare for her. It's going to stop her chances of getting to the title. So for Nicco, same thing. It's going to be hard for her to build her brand, and her first title defense is Valentina Shevchenko. So I can understand these business moves sometimes. Sometimes it's not even a fighter. Sometimes it's the manager, because they know that certain fighters, the threat level is high. And when the threat level is this high, the money might not be coming in anymore. You know what I mean? These managers, they have fees, you know what I mean? So they got to make sure they can get their percentage. And by doing so, let's get you some good, let's get some tailor-made fights for you. You know what I mean? Let's get you this fight. Let's get you that fight. Let's get you this C level and this D level. Somebody we know you can go in there and beat. Get you a finishing bonus. Get you, what was it back then? 25,000, right? 25,000? Yeah. Get you a bonus. Get this money. And then we'll try to get that Valentina fight. But right now, we got to build your brand up. So that's another thing. Like, I don't see a yellow streak in her blood, man. I don't see a yellow streak in her blood. I think it was just the fact that they wanted to make that move, but it wound up blowing up in their face. No, please, what's going on? He said he thinks he's kind of the worst champion ever. I mean, yeah, it's people's opinion, but like I said, for me, I don't think so. B just said Kobe Covington is by far the worst champion. Hey, he's in the top 5. Let me see. He's in the top 5. 2B said Islam, perfect example of how it can pay off to fight lower ranked opponents. Yeah. Yeah. Pays off, yeah. Definitely does. But yeah, man, we'll talk more. Anything crazy ever come up, about Nicco as far as her making her way to Bellator or something like that. Or she keeps us updated even on the documentary. But yeah, respect to her. It was a bumpy run for her. Very bumpy run. I wish her the best. I wish her the best. Hope she can find out what she really wants to do. I thought she, did have that warrior's heart, but yeah, man. Yeah. Sucks it went that way though. Especially when you see people like other fighters too, like Tatiana, that just have like fate take over and they can't get in the octagon at all. Injury after injury after injury. And I think her situation may be similar, but Tatiana's just seems a lot worse, man. Like, hers just seems so much worse to me. Like, she can't fight it. Part of me wants to say Nicco could have made it, weight at times. It was just discipline. But that's just me. That's just me. All right. We was going on. We've been on here for a minute already. Damn, just talking. Some of these things, they just bring out different points and you just got to speak on it, But let's talk some of this flyweight stuff. Let's talk this flyweight division a little bit, man. I'm going to talk about these fights that I got in the thumbnail, but we're going to talk about some other flyweight matchups that are happening and need to happen. I'm going to start with the lower rank here. I don't have their picture up here yet. What do y'all think about Courtney Casey versus Alara Yawani? Not Alara Yawani. What the hell? Courtney Casey versus Liana Jojua. See, I'm over here looking at her pictures and stuff. So All right. So, yeah, this fight is right around the corner, man. It's coming up this month. So, let's talk about Yawani. I mean, their names look similar, though. Liana Jojua and Alara Yawani's name looks similar. Like, if you, like, just look at it from peripheral vision, if you just, like, glance at it, it look the same. So, all right. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Yeah, flyweights, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like, BJ, you talk about the flyweight division a lot, and I can't help it too, man. I got to talk about it. Like, I love the strawweight division, but I like where flyweights is going, man. I love where the flyweight division is going right now. It's like there's a lot of potential there. Like, we might not have the same crazy type of action going on as far as, like, you know, the Rose, the Wei Lee, the Joannas. And then you got the up-and-comers like Amanda Lemos. But we got a lot of good names here too, man. I mean, you can't count out the triple threat, BJ, that I'm always talking about. Like, they make up some of the promising fighters. Then you just got some slept-on fighters that come in there to put on a performance. I mean, even the unranked fighters, as long as somebody's getting knocked out on that level or submitted, I'm watching. You know what I mean? I'm watching. But, yeah, let's see. Courtney Casey and Liana Jojua, August 21st. That fight is going down. This is to me, it's a must win for Courtney. It's really a must win for Courtney. But again, if she was to lose, that would kind of tell you that she belongs at 115. I know Courtney Casey's like, what, 9-8? 9-9. Yeah, I remember looking a couple of days ago. Yeah, she's like 9-9. And I was like, oh, shoot, she balanced out now. You know, somebody like her, so on 2-fight losing streak, she needs this to me. She needs this because you'll know she could be part of an end-of-the-year cut. So this is a fight she needs. And Jojua, to me, it's a fight she needs because you can't go losing to somebody that was a strawweight. You know, it's a fight that you need to win. Jojua, definitely, to me, she definitely has the size and the frame of a flyweight. And she's got the punching, you know, she's got the, I won't say punching power, but she definitely has some strength behind her punches. And, you know, Courtney Casey, I think she's a little bit tall. Let me pull up these stats here. Courtney Casey, to me, you know, she can be a brawler, but I think she needs to kind of polish up that striking, you know, start punching a little bit more straight. And I think that she can make this fight hers. You know, 5'7". Yeah, I know she was one of the tallest strawweights. You know, and I think she's kind of filling out the flyweight nicely. So if she can use her size and reach advantage, 3-inch height advantage over Jojua, she could do similar or better than what Miranda did. You know, she could land straight punches, straight kicks without getting touched. You know, she could control this fight. But Jojua's thing is, man, she might test the chin. You know, she might test the chin of the former strawweight. But Jojua has the edge in the ground. I'm going to be real. Let me take it there because I know that Jojua is not going to want to go in there and trade. She's definitely not going to put the nose on the line. And I'm not being funny. I'm just saying she might not want to put the nose on the line because if you want to go in there and trade and that's your target, hey, be blood everywhere. You know, look at Montana. So somebody like Jojua going to need to take this fight to the ground. Now, Courtney Casey, that's a bit of her weak suit in my opinion. And the stronger fighter would be Jojua on the ground. The stand-up, I think, would favor more so Courtney. So it's really going to come down to who executes that game plan, you know, and who really wants it and who's really worried about that little wire being cut. Because right now, to me, Jojua, I think let's not lie, she's a little bit better standing. You know, she's just coming off a loss to Miranda Maverick. That was her last fight. Before that, she beat Belle Beta. And, you know, she lost to Sarah Morris. But this is a winnable fight for her to me. I think it's a winnable fight for her. And if I had to pick early, see, these unranked fights, they're usually the fights that are kind of when you got fighters on, when you got these type of fighters that are kind of hanging by the thread here and they're not committing to certain styles, it's really hard to say. It's 50-50 to me. It really is 50-50 to me. This fight is. If I had to pick, though, put the gun to my head, I'm going to say Courtney Casey. Let me take that back. Take that back. Don't pull the trigger on me. I'm going to go with that is tough, man. That's tough. Hold me on that one. We're going to hold off on that one. Pine K said, do you think Weili will beat Rose in a rematch? That ain't going to happen yet. I don't want to see that yet. Let's talk Carla and Rose. That's all I want right now. Stamina said Casey was on borrowed time as a strawweight. She would have left way earlier when she did. She should have left earlier when she did. BJ said the thing about Jojua, if it goes to the ground, she isn't gonna grind Casey like Robertson did. She's very opportunistic. Yeah. Yeah, he breaking out the Scrabble words. He said opportunistic. 10 points. How many points is that opportunistic worth? 15 points. I played Scrabble way back. So yeah, that's a flyweight fight I'm looking forward to though. August 21st. I want to see what these two can do in there. I want to see if Courtney Casey can develop this ground game that she needs to progress, man. Because even the low part, and I know you agree, BJ. The low part of the flyweights is tough. The low tier is hard to progress in if you don't have takedown defense or if you don't have a ground game. It's hard to progress even to number 15 or 14 because you have a lot of wrestlers. You have the Montanas, you have the Jillian Robertsons, you have the Miranda Mavericks. You have those fighters that are strong as hell. So it's going to be tough to progress if you don't have takedown defense or a ground game, or if you're not really committed to your striking. But yeah, that's an unranked fight I'm looking forward to. Next unranked fight, let's talk Manon Fiorot and Mayra Bueno Silva here. This one I'm really looking forward to. What is it, September 25th? Let me pull up my dates here before we get to talking. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, September 25th. I was right. Okay. Yeah, this is a fight I'm looking forward to. Manon Fiorot versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Manon Fiorot, of course, I put her in that category because I said I see something in her style and I see something in her attack that makes me see potential in her to eventually get to the top. I know you're going to disagree with me. You can agree with me, but Manon Fiorot has something. She's not struggling on this level, which makes me believe she has something. If you struggle on the low level, then we'll see. It's kind of questionable. But Manon is not struggling with her opponents. Victoria Leonardo, that was not a mismatch. That was a legit flyweight for her. Tabitha Ricci was a strawweight. That was a mismatch. I mean, it doesn't turn into a mismatch until you blow somebody out, right? Now, if Manon Fiorot would have got rocked by Victoria Leonardo or won a close decision, then everybody's going to say her skills ain't all that or she's overrated. But you got to give her credit for the Leonardo fight. Leonardo's been in there with some tough fights. She's considered on the same level. They brought her in the contender series, gave her the contender series. People were picking Victoria Leonardo to beat Manon Fiorot. I told you that wasn't happening, but now that she beat her, it's not considered a legit win, huh? But it's legit in my book. So from here, she's holding on to her tier. She's, looking good. So the next tier she needs is a full-fledged flyweight. And make sure you hit the like button as well. Now she's got the full-fledged flyweight on this level that we need, right? Manon Fiorot, 5'7", 66-inch reach, big flyweight, against Mayra Bueno Silva, 5'6", 66.5-inch reach advantage. So they're about the same size. So we're gonna get some we're gonna get some good performances, and we're gonna get some questions answered in this fight. Style wise, as y'all know, Mayra Bueno Silva, pressure fighter. You know, she's a go get 'em, good body punch, a good clinch fighter as well. You know, she's got that shoot box style. As y'all know, I'll bring this up too. Y'all know she's dating Glory DePaula. You know, that's her girlfriend, and they have similar styles. And, you know, Glory DePaula, she's trying to kind of use that same style at times, but I think it's more effective with Mayra Bueno Silva. And that's not saying a great deal. It's just a little bit more effective because she's bigger and has more weight to her. So with that shoot box style versus Manon Fiorot, who can fight on the back foot or fight coming forward, how I can say, man, they're gonna be punches flying, man. There's gonna be some blood in this fight. Somebody's eyes is gonna be on swole here, man, because Manon Fiorot, when she lets that left hand go, you know, she's letting multiple left hands go. You know, she's a good combination puncher. That karate kick that she throws, you know, that side kick she throws to the body, it's just so, it's fluid. It's almost like JoJo's front kick. You know how JoJo throws that front kick out? She just kind of flicks it out like that. I kind of see the similar situation with Manon Fiorot's side kick. It's like her jab. You know, she kind of throws it out to the body and sends these girls reeling back. You know, she can knock you back with these side kicks. So the arsenal is there for Manon Fiorot in this fight. You know, she can switch levels. Again, I've seen all of her fights, and, you know, she can fight in the clinch. As far as her ground game being tested in the UFC, that's one thing, right? But I've seen her want to take it to the ground in some fights. You know, I've seen her clinch up and throw girls down to the ground and just kind of smother them and maul them. But her main thing that we do see a lot of is her stand-up. Oh, yeah, let me throw in, you know, she's got the brown belt now. You know, she's got a brown belt. But Manon Fiorot's stand-up, to me, the way she picks her shots and the way she, you know, can dictate the pace and the range, it could be very, 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 very much a tough fight for Mayra Bueno Silva. Mayra Bueno Silva, she can slug. You know, she likes to throw. She likes to take a shot to give a shot, and she can hit hard. So that would be my only question there sometimes with Manon Fiorot. Can kind of leave her chin open. You know, she can kind of leave the chin open. She's been hit a couple of times in some of her non-UFC fights. You know, she's taking some clean hits. And that could be her only factor in this fight, you know. So that's the earlier years. So I'm sure she's been tightening up on that, you know, tightening up on her defense. So if you're in there with a fighter like MBS, you know, you definitely got to keep it tight. You got to keep it tight and keep it at range and pot shot. But I lean towards Mayra Bueno. Excuse me, at least I lean towards Manon Fiorot in this fight because I think she can do what Marina Moreau did to Mayra Bueno Silva. You know, Mayra Bueno Silva was boxing and moving and striking, and she's a smaller fighter. You know, she was coming up from strawweight. And if somebody that smaller can do that, I think Manon Fiorot, the bigger fighter, you know, should be able to do that same thing. Because let's see. Marina Moreau. Yeah, Marina Moreau's 5'7". You know, she's 5'7", but her frame to me, you know, she's tall, she's long, she's got a longer reach. You know, Marina Moreau does, but her frame is a little bit smaller. You know, she couldn't really get the respect of Mayra Bueno Silva. She couldn't hurt her, you know, but I think Manon Fiorot, if she lands the same type of hits that Marina Moreau did, she'll do damage and she'll hurt her. You know, she won't be in there, you know, doing that back and forth, looking for the draw like, you know, the MBS and De La Rosa fight was. You know, she'll be looking to get her out of there. That's the thing about Manon Fiorot. She looks to finish. You know, so it's gonna be dangerous, man. Very, very, very good fight though. And if Manon wins this fight, then yeah, this should put her to. Can we put her to number 15? Can we put her in there yet? Or do we have to get her to fight the number 15 first? I don't know. I would put her at number 15 depending on how she looked. You know, yeah, I would put her at number 15 if she beats Mayra Bueno Silva, or line her up against the 15 or one of the older fighters there in the lower part between 11 through 15. For sure. So, yeah, definitely a fight that's going down on this card. Keep your fingers crossed that nothing happens. I mean, we already lost Roxanne versus Tatiana. Oh, man. We already lost one fight on that card. So, yeah. Keep your fingers crossed nothing happens with this fight. Let's keep our fingers crossed for both Manon and Mayra, because we need this fight to happen, y'all. But bringing up Roxanne, let's talk this next fight. Roxanne is without a dance partner, right? She's without a dance partner. Who else is without a dance partner? Taylor Santos. Taylor Santos is without a dance partner. Okay, Tatiana had to pull out, unfortunately, of the Roxanne fight. And Taylor Santos is having some visa issues. Can't fight in Vegas. So Mandy Bohm is going to be fighting Ariane Lipsky. Talk about that fight too in a minute. So both of these fighters don't have dance partners, and they were supposed to fight back in May, right? So I'm thinking the only logical thing right now, and if UFC wants to make a good fight, I mean, hey, like, why can't we put these two together again, right? You know what I mean? Like, why can't we match these two fighters up? I mean, they're not fighting anybody, right? Roxanne don't have anybody. Taylor don't have anybody. So why don't we get them to fight somewhere where Taylor don't have to worry about visa issues, huh? Let's put them on a card where she don't have to worry about those issues. Are they taking these fights back to Dubai soon? They need to. This is the fight I was looking forward to, though, for real. Roxanne and Taylor Santos. It was a good matchup, when it was first announced, because it was going to answer some questions. We needed to see Taylor Santos in there with the top 10. Roxanne, we need to see where she's at now. Coming back from surgery, coming off a loss. We need to see where she can go from here, because Roxanne, coming off the loss that she did, don't deserve to fight up. She got to fight down now. I think that's only fair. Like, if you lose to somebody a couple times in the top 10 above you, then you have to fight down. I think that's only fair. So I think her having to fight down, Taylor would be the perfect opponent. And she's good. She's recovered from her knee, because she was about to get in there with Tatiana Suarez. So let's just make this fight happen. I think that's all that can be said as far as, the logical reason. It was already scheduled. I mean, they need somebody. So. But let's see. Oh, High Five said Manon fights like Weili, Holm, Andrade, and Grasso. Damn. That's a lot. That's a lot of style matchups in there. Yeah, I don't think Manon fights like Andrade at all. Maybe a little bit of Holm in there, but not even Weili or Grasso. I think she kind of has her own boxing style, her own karate and kickboxing style. That's just me, though. Like, from what I'm seeing, I mean, somebody that's watched or watching her and studying her, I think Manon kind of has her own style. I think her pressure kind of reminds me of a certain boxer, but I mean, y'all probably don't know who it is. So her style reminds me of a boxer, the way she, in the southpaw stance, and the way she comes forward, and the way she, really like to tease off and hits you with and connects and ready to get you out of there. She kind of reminds me of a boxer. MJ said Roxanne needs to retire. Nah, she ain't going nowhere. She better get in here and get this fight. Nah, She can get in here and get this fight. She need to get in here and get this fight. She ain't going nowhere. Robot Chicken said, I actually like Roxanne. I want her to go on a hot winning streak. Unfortunately, she trades wins with losses. Yeah, she always goes on that win-loss pattern, you know. So, and if you study the win-loss pattern, you know, she'll lose to the bigger, stronger physical fighters. You know, if you're a fighter that gives her space and time to think, like Macy Barber and Andrea Lee, then she'll beat you. But if you're too big and too strong for her to take to the ground, Lauren Murphy, Vivian Araujo, just some of her recent fights, Sarge Eubank. Did she fight? Yeah, when did she fight Sarge? Like way back, right? No, not Sarge. Sarge. Yeah, Sarge Eubank, Jennifer Maya. You know, those type of fighters are going to give her all kinds of problems. So looking at a fight between Roxanne and Taylor Santos, I could see Taylor Santos being that type of fighter that's really going to just come in here and want to be physical. You know, you got to be physical with Roxanne, and you got to dictate the pace. If you don't, she'll get into that striking mode. Like I said, Roxanne, to me, has very effective striking. It ain't pretty, but it's very effective. You know, it's very effective on some of these fighters. And, you know, she can get takedowns off of it. Like, it's effective. You know, her right hand is accurate. It's fluid. And that could be the one issue I could see maybe touching Taylor a bit. You know, I've seen Taylor get touched up in the Molly McCann fight a few times. You know, if you kind of timing her from the outside, you throw them combinations, she comes in, boom, boom, you know, she can get hit. But so Taylor Santos, to me, in this, you want to be physical with a Roxanne. You know, you want to take it to that level. You want to make her, you want to test her knees out. You know, you want to get that clinch on her and press her to the cage and take her to the ground, you know, and just maul her, you know, steal rounds by being physical and mauling her, man. So this is Taylor Santos's fight to me, where she could really show her come up and showcase some good skills. I know some people say, oh, she's coming off a knee surgery, but, you know, Roxanne's been there before. I mean, look how she fights now. You know, Roxanne, you know, wears glasses, but look, she fights without her glasses. And I mean, look how effective she is. Like, Roxanne is not seeing her opponent clearly, but she's still clearly punching you. You know what I mean? Like, Roxanne is blinking, but she's got you in her targets, and she still lands on you. That's another reason I got to say her striking is good. You know, she's doing it without 2020 vision. That's how effective her striking is. You know? So that's a good fight. That's a good fight that needs to be made. Let's pray that McMahon, they do the right thing and they get Roxanne and Taylor in there. Yeah. Ariane Lipski and who did we say? Who's Ariane Lipski fighting? I didn't even put the picture up. That's why I'm zoning out. Who was Lipski fighting? Mandy Baum. Yeah, Mandy Baum. That's a good fight. That's the necessary fight. Mandy Baum coming into the UFC, fighter on a 2-fight losing streak. It's unranked. I see a stand-up fight between these two. You know, this could be a banger. You know, you got a long fighter in Mandy Baum. You know, she likes to slug. She's got good takedown defense. You know, fights long, and she is strong in the clinch. Like, you try to take her down, she's very strong. You know, she is strong. I'm at 7-0, and I think she's like 5'6". You know, she's definitely, you know, one of those lengthy strikers that could give Ariane Lipski problems. But, you know, Ariane Lipski, she's about the same height. You know, Ariane Lipski's about the same height, and she like to bang. You know, she got a good right hand. So this is a fight where, Mandy Bohm needs to prove her level and not go in there against like a top 15 yet. That was too soon. So this is better matchmaking. I think it happened for the best. Definitely happened for the best. MJ said, I agree. Roxanne can beat Valentina and Nunes, maybe GDR and Cyborg too. Dang, man, what you smoking? My dude is smoking. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I'm taking time out to find out what I'm gonna have to ask Google what makes people say crazy things. What makes people say crazy things? It's got to be somebody under the influence or something. Okay. All right. Next, let's talk this fight right here. November 20th. Probably the fight that's furthest out, right? Yeah, it is. JoJo Calderwood. JoJo Calderwood versus Alexa Grasso. This was a fight I think we were all kind of like, wow, man, I didn't think of this. Like, it just kind of flew under the radar, right? JoJo Calderwood versus Alexa Grasso. I didn't think of it. I don't know why I didn't think of it. I kept trying to think of somebody for Alexa Grasso to fight, but the name JoJo never popped up. And now that it's happening, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. This is a good stand-up fight, a Striker's Paradise type fight. You're gonna have two fighters that like to stand up and do their thing, man. You got a boxer and you got a Muay Thai fighter. Boxer and a Muay Thai fighter, their standout characteristics. Muay Thai fighter and JoJo, she'll take a punch to give a punch. She's a banger in there. She throws good combinations. Fights off of heart a lot, though, man. JoJo fights off of heart a lot. And Alexa Grasso, she's kind of the opposite. She's more tech savvy. She's more tech savvy, and she doesn't have the kill switch. I think we all agree on that. I mean, that's not even like a one-person opinion. Grasso does not have the kill switch. She got a good counter-punching ability. Like, she'll rock you. When you rock you, she won't necessarily get you out of there. So, whose benefit is that? That's a question going into this fight. Like, who has the benefit? You rock somebody and you let them survive. I'll favor JoJo in this case, right? So, this has to be a fight where Alexa Grasso, she's got to go in there and pull the trigger again and again. Pull the trigger again and again. Because JoJo, in my opinion, she don't have any quit in her. I mean, she will get beat. She will get submitted. She loses her. She goes out on her shield for the most part. I mean, yes or no? Like JoJo, she goes out on her shield for the most part. She'll make some mistakes in there, but she'll fight with heart. That's why I see this being another problem fight for Alexa Grasso. Thankfully, Grasso had so much more ability. She had so many more abilities than Macy Barber. That's why she was able to stay in the fight, and just do what she did, and never really have any problems until the third round. But, going in there with a fighter like JoJo again, when that fights with that type of kill switch, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. Alexa being mostly hands, she's got some kicks here and there, of course, but she's mostly known to box and that beautiful foot movement. Thinking of her just throwing mostly hands, I could see JoJo getting the edge because, she's throwing kicks. She's throwing that front kick to the face. Like I said, that kick to the face is like her jab. She'll throw a jab. She'll put punches together. If she gets you in a tie clinch, she knows how to control you. It's just a thing, of second nature. It's like second nature for JoJo at this point. She'll just grab you by the head, and just start teeing off to the body, Like I was like, she was in there with Lauren Murphy a few times. I was like, yo, why don't you just let him go? Get in that tie clinch and let him go. So it's gonna be one of those situations where the outside fighter, you gotta think, is Grasso. That's gonna be her game plan. JoJo is gonna be the mid range, using her timing. This is a more of a must win for JoJo though, because she's fighting down. She's got to get a win now, coming off the loss to Lauren Murphy. For Alexa Grasso, this is her fighting her way up. It's the fight that I think she needed. Caitlyn was calling her out, but nah, Caitlyn ain't getting that fight. Come on, why you trying to fight somebody 8 spots down? I know your move. We all know what you're trying to do. Stamina said rock your opponent, then stand there taking pictures. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, rock her. You rock Carla Esparza. Let Carla come right back. I was like, dang. Come on. Robot Chick is, he's talking about Bisping. Oh, yeah. Bisping won the title. Yeah, he sure did. We talking about women, though, okay? We talking about the women. We talking about the women here and how effective she is with her striking. So, and how she's still giving some of these young girls trouble. That's the point. Like, Roxanne is still beating Macy Barber and Andrea Lee's and Antonina Shevchenko's off of, blurry vision. But, okay. So, yeah, Grasso taking on Caitlyn Chikagan, that to me was just not supposed to happen. Nah, because like I said, if you do that, they'll try to put you in there with a title fight, and you don't need a title fight yet. You got to fight your way up, beat JoJo and maybe one of the gatekeepers, and then maybe gatekeepers being Andrade and Chikagan at this point. It's safe to say that they're like the two. What do you call it? Like one of those big, like a let's say like a library or like one of those big classified buildings, library or like a museum, and you got the two lions sitting outside. That's kind of like what the flyweight division is right now. To get inside, you got to get past those two lions, Andrade and Chikagan. They tried to get in, but they couldn't because that person inside kicked him out, being Valentina Shevchenko. She's like, no, I'm staying inside. This is my throne. Yeah, I'm going to talk library. Let's say the castle. You want to get in that flyweight castle, you got to get past Chikagan and Andrade now. They're sitting there on the banisters. And to get inside, you got to beat one or the other. And then you can go in there and take your chance. Right? That's kind of how it works at this point. They are seen as the gatekeepers now. Early pick, though. Who do y'all got? Grasso versus Calderwood. I have to look more into it. I think it's close. Mark Robinson said Grasso has to find a way around the front kick. Yeah, she does have good angles. She does have good angles, but sometimes when she's standing there and kind of waiting and trying to feint, that front kick comes in and boom, she can catch you with it. So yeah, that's probably going to be one of the issues for getting on the inside. All right, so yeah, good fight though, man. Good fight. That's a good fight. Like I said, I couldn't believe I forgot about that. That's gonna be a banger too. Two good stand-up fighters. I like JoJo's Muay Thai style, and I like Lex's boxing. What else? What else is on the flyweight radar? Oh yeah. Why ain't I put this up? Calvillo and Andrade. Let's go back and talk Calvillo and Andrade. Yeah, Calvillo is at the doorstep right now. She's got to fight one of those lions on the banister right now. Hold on. When is that fight? Oh, it's the same night. Same night as Manon Fiorot's fight. That's right. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let's pull this thing up here. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, September 25th, same night as Manon Fiorot. So I don't know why I was forgetting about this fight. Yeah, Calvillo and Andrade, man. Shout out to Calvillo again, man. Like, you don't hear a lot of people say I want to fight you to Jessica Andrade, right? You don't hear too many people saying they want that fight. I mean, you don't hear a lot of people saying they want the champion either, but you definitely don't hear a lot of people saying they want to fight Andrade, like coming off a loss. You know what I mean? Like, and they call her out and take a picture with her and like, let's make it happen. So let's put this right here. Calvillo and Andrade. This was a fight I actually wanted to see at 115, though. You know, it made sense when it was at 115. But now, you know, with both fighters coming off of losses, the Shevchenko and Caitlin Kagan, you know, it's a good call. Because Andrade, you know, she tried to get in, man, but she got put back on the banister. So she's guarding the gate again. And Calvillo, she's coming up trying to get in, so she's got to fight. She's got to fight Andrade, and I think it's going to be a big test for her stand-up and her grappling. We know that I ain't gonna hear it. There we go. We know that Calvillo has gone on record to say she has some of the best grappling in the flyweight division, probably the best grappler in the flyweight division, according to Calvillo. And like I said, I'm not going to argue with her on that or disagree with her on that. That's her. You know, that's for her to say and for her to show us, right? That's for her to say and for her to show us come fight night. I think that's going to be a big part of the fight, her having to utilize her grappling. I think Calvillo has a good jab, but I don't know if she has the speed to get away from the offense of Andrade. You know, Andrade is fast. Like, Andrade is not very technical, but she's athletic and she's got that burst, you know, and she really has been working on her head movement. You know, I give her credit there. Andrade has been working on her head movement here. And I think that head movement, it will play a big factor here. You know, she'll be able to time and slip some jabs and come over the top with her right hand and even rush her way in on Calvillo. So I think grappling is going to be a big part, and ground control is going to be a big part here. You know, we're going to have to see if Calvillo can live up to that. Being the best grappler in the flyweight division, that's a tough call because you got a lot of grapplers in there. You know, you got Jennifer Maia, Roxanne, of course, the champion. You got Lauren Murphy. You know, you're putting your grappling up against everybody. Andrade. And we already know that going strength for strength with Andrade is going to be hell. It's going to be hell trying to go strength for strength with her. And that's something I want to bring up too. I kind of think that a lot of fans, I know not a lot of fighters are seeing Andrade as like easy pickings now. You know, she's definitely not like a damaged fighter. She doesn't have a mark on her. You know, Andrade to me is still dangerous. Like, what Valentina did is what Valentina could do. You know, but anybody else thinking they could do the same or thinking that she's like done, you know, they'll get stopped in a heartbeat. So I really hope that going into this fight, Calvillo is not thinking. I don't think she's not thinking that way. Yeah, I don't think she's thinking that way. I hope not. Thinking that she can go in there and just dismantle her the same way Valentina did. You know, nah, that's not happening. I did a video a while back. I think somebody asked me that question, like, who was stronger, Valentina or Andrade? And, you know, I honestly went on record. I said Valentina was stronger. Like, before the fight, I did my video. I said Andrade is not as strong because, you know, Valentina covers a lot of the bases, you know, as far as on how to distribute her balance and her strength. To be said, the analogy. Oh, Probably Calderwood just because I'm a big fan of Grasso, and it would ruin her path to a title shot. MJ said Calderwood will do to Grasso what she did to Lipsky. Oh, yeah, like Mauler and Grounder, right? Yeah. I could see something like that happen. And, Calderwood's been getting comfortable on the ground. JoJo has been getting a little bit more comfortable. Marcus Bell said, true, I haven't seen Granny beat no one that is ranked above her. Yeah. It's only fair you got to fight down, man. MJ said if Grasso shows up like she did against Carolina, then she'll win. Yeah. And, it wasn't the fact that Grasso showed up the way she did. It was the fact that Carolina showed up the way she did. Carolina was an open target that night. Carolina, she was just not there. Like Carolina Kobakevich, she was like a sitting target. Carolina was in that fight. Then Jan Janan. Yeah, she was a sitting target in the Jan Janan fight. So Grasso did what she always does. It was easy night for her. But I think even if she showed up like that with JoJo, it would be problems because JoJo ain't going to just sit there and get hit all night. I mean, she will get hit, but she's not going to be idle. She's not just going to be sitting there not throwing anything, But, yeah, a lot of good flyweight fights, man. I like this match between Andrade and Calvillo. I think we all know how this fight could go. I'm hoping for a better fight than what it might turn out to be. I mean, I know what we're all thinking. I know what we're all thinking about Andrade and Calvillo, but let's hope that Calvillo has a good jab in this fight and her grappling can hold up like she says. I don't even think she should try to grapple with Andrade in this fight. I think it has to be a game of keep away. It has to be a game of tag. It has to be a game of tag in this one, man. Because Andrade is still too much for everybody else. Robot Chicken said, who you got? Panay or Carolina? I might have to go with Panay in this fight. Yeah, I'm not really investing too much in these two just because KK is just so far from the fighter she was. And, Panay does have some experience. She's just been out for 2 years. But if I had to pick, I'm going to lean towards Panay. Yeah, I'll lean towards Jessica Panay in this fight. Just all the damage that Carolina suffered. And I don't know if she has it like that, man. I think Panay has a little bit more going for her. Maybe like she wants to, go out with more of a bang than how she was gone for 2 years. I think she has a few more tools in her belt. She can stick and move, and she can fight on the ground a little bit better. I think she'll be a little bit more active. I mean, if she somehow beat Lupita Benitez, which I don't think she did, this fight shouldn't be tough for her to get a gift decision. Mark Robinson said, I watched Andrade versus Claudia for the first time yesterday with a beatdown. I think Andrade overwhelms Calvillo in a 3-round fight. Oh, that was your first time watching that fight? Man, I hope you enjoyed it, man. That was a great fight, man. I won't even say like great, like as far as not great, like it's this dope scrap where it's back and forth, but it was just like so crazy how Andrade turned this whole thing into her game. And it showed what level of IQ Claudia Gadelha had. Like, if you notice in that fight, Mark, Claudia could have won the striking battle. Claudia was landing some nice punches, but she chose to fight the fight of Andrade and wind up getting beat down. I mean, the ground and pound was so vicious. Oh, man. I love watching that fight, though, for what it was. I mean, yeah, it was entertaining, man. Yeah, that was crazy, though, man. Like, I picked Claudia to win that fight because I said Claudia's got the edge in striking. She showed it for like a couple minutes of the first round, and then all of a sudden she just started trying to grapple and go strength for strength with Andrade. And Andrade was just like handling her, man. It was just like Andrade was so happy that she gave her the fight she wanted. You know what I mean? Like she was like, now you're in my zone. Now we're going to take it here. Like if Claudia would have just stuck to her game and used the jab and just pieced her up, oh man, it would have been a better fight. Like Claudia probably could have stopped Andrade, you know, with the power. You know, nice punches from the outside, rock her, then take it to the ground. But she chose to try to fight. I think I did a live round by round on this, right? I think I did. Did I? I don't know. But it was good, man. I might have to do another one with that. We got to watch that thing together, man. That was entertaining. That thing had blood, action, beat down, one-sided beat down. I mean, yeah, but it was entertaining. Yeah, Robot Chicken said he feels like Panay won't quit. Yeah, I don't think Panay gonna quit. Marcus Bell said before Claudia was getting beaten up by Andrade, Claudia was piecing her up. Yeah, she was. Like, first round, she was piecing up, but then she gassed out. Like, she was throwing too many bombs. She was throwing too many bombs, man. TJ, that's how TJ peeked his head in the door and said, Claudia was robbed. And he shut the door real quick before anybody could throw a bottle at him. That's how he did. See, TJ stuck his head in. Claudia was robbed. He avoiding that bottle getting thrown at his head right now. Just missed him. MJ said, I don't think that it was a smart move from Calvillo to call out Andrade after a loss against Chikagan. It was okay to me. I mean, that was her whole way of doing it. Like, she coming off a loss, and Andrade is coming off a loss to Valentina. You know, so she figured, hey, we're both coming off of losses. Why not match us up? You know, they kind of have the same momentum right now. And, you know, Calvillo's loss is not really as mentally crushing as Andrade's was to Valentina, you know. But with that being said, I don't think that Andrade lost enough to lose to Calvillo. Any time to take this fight would be this is the right time now. This is the right time to take the fight for Calvillo to me when she's coming off the Shevchenko loss. It's just good matchmaking for me. Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it was a good time to take a fight. Yeah. Mark Robinson said, I got Fight Pass recently and watching all the WMMA fights of the night. Yeah, man. Yeah. I got my Fight Pass. You know, I'll be saving a lot of these fights. There's a lot of, good fights up there you can go back and watch. But yeah, man, Claudia versus Andrade, that was entertaining, man. I enjoyed that fight. I might have to go back and watch that tonight. I recommend, Mark Robinson, I recommend LFA fight Demopoulos versus Benitez. That was last year. You know, this fight's on there. Hold on. I recommend this fight on Fight Pass. Hold on. Yeah, I recommend that fight from last year. Yeah, that's a good fight. All right, let's see. But yeah, anyways, last fight really here. I think we all have talked about this fight too. I'm just putting this on the list of flyweight updates. We also have, of course, on the same card as Calvillo Andrade, we got Shevchenko versus Murphy. You know, Murphy, to me, has done enough to, you know, get her title shot. All the other girls have already gotten theirs, and they've all succumbed to the same fate. So, you know, Valentina Shevchenko, ready to come back. You know, she likes to stay active. 5 months later, she'll be back in there again against Murphy. So what Murphy can do at this point, we can always just talk about what if, right? We just got to see what she can execute, because much like Calvillo, she's confident. She's 100% sure that she can crack this code, and like I said, she's 100% sure that she can crack this code, and she wants to go in there and use her grappling, use her wrestling, and which I think would probably be a good idea. Being physical with Valentina is probably her best bet, because letting Valentina set the pace in the fight is just, spelling disaster. You can't let Valentina set the pace in the fight. You let her set the pace, and, it's pretty much 5 rounds or until she stops you. And I don't see Murphy winning the stand-up battle in this fight. I don't think anybody does, right? Because even Murphy's past fights where she's just boxing with Andrea Lee or JoJo Calderwood, she's going to get tagged up and hit to the body. Andrea Lee was mixing it up. 1-2s, body kicks, 1-2s, right hands, so, and still Andrea Lee lost that fight. That was crazy. But I think that's just going to be a tough night for Lauren Murphy. If she chooses to stay on the outside, she'll get picked apart. Valentina set into a nice rhythm with Jennifer Maia for like that 3rd round onto the 5th of just like sticking the left hand in Maia's face and then just turning angles where she could never get her. So Murphy's got to use what she has, and that's her strength and her physicality. Let's be real. And I think she knows that. That's why she says she's got that wrestling to do her thing, to try to make it a competitive fight. But it's like I said, man, there's just 2 different levels here. There's that top level and there's Shevchenko level. Shevchenko level is just too much for some of these fighters, and not many fighters get a level named after him. Shevchenko level. There's Nunes level, of course. There's Nunes level and there's Shevchenko level in this sport here. So they're the only 2 that are really dominate. The strawweight division, of course, it'll go back and forth, between Rose, Weili, Joanna, Andrade. Nobody's ever really just had a level. It's more so balanced out in the strawweight division. That's crazy, ain't it? Like one of the most talented. Well, that shows you like how good the strawweight division is, right? The strawweight division is made up of so many talented fighters and so many different styles, and no fighter is ever really going to reign supreme for so long out of these elite fighters. Weili, Rose, Joanna, eventually, if you throw in Marina Rodriguez or Mackenzie Dern, all of these different styles have some type of styles have some way to become kryptonite for a fighter. Whereas if you look at bantamweight or flyweight, Nunes and Shevchenko are just so dominant, they separate themselves. But every time you look at a fight in the strawweight division, one of the title holders is losing their belt, and they're losing by KO. Do y'all notice that? Y'all notice that? Somebody's getting stopped. Joanna got stopped for it. And who stopped it? Rose stopped her for it. Then Rose got stopped. And Jessica Andrade took the belt from her. Then Jessica Andrade got stopped. And then Weili had it, so Weili got stopped. So is Rose going to get stopped this next go round? So it's crazy like that, man. And remember, for the title, Carlos Esparza stopped Rose for the belt that time, So it's just so much more leveled out, and I like it that way. I like it that way though, because that whole division is strawweight. It's full of sharks and gems, man. TJ said we need to hear Marcus's keys to victory for Lauren as a counterpoint. If anybody's going to give us those keys to victory for Lauren Murphy, I think Marcus has got it down. Yeah, if Marcus is going to bring us the keys to victory, because I'm going to struggle to find some. I'm just playing, man. Yeah, for what Lauren Murphy can do, I got to really watch her fights closely. I mean, I've always watched her fights, but you know what I mean? Like, for seeing her to be able to do anything, I think your man is Marcus Bell for that. Marcus Bell would fight Valentina himself to protect Lauren Murphy. Dang, man. Marcus, you would get laid out by a head. Marcus Bell would take a head kick for Lauren Murphy. Damn. Oh, man. Oh, boy. In his Angel Garcia voice, right? If your losses didn't lost. Marcus Garcia. We gonna start. Marcus Garcia. He'd be like Angel. No, he'd be like Lauren. Lucius didn't lost. Lucky didn't lost. Oh no, Marcus. Damn, TJ went there. Oh man, yo, crazy man. But let me see here. Robot Chicken said, "Well, I guess get stops again." Yeah, I mean, that's the way it's kind of been working out for this strawweight title. You know, Joanna held it the longest for 5 title defenses. If you really want to analyze, like, she was defending against that second tier level, but when she stepped up to the elite level, there was a time when Rose was second tier, but Rose just had the style to beat Joanna. You know, there was a time when Rose was second tier, but I could see her stepping out of the box with her style, and her style just conflicted with Joanna's, and she was able to knock her out, you know. And then Rose put herself in that elite box. And yeah, from then on, it's just like nobody's been able to be dominant at strawweight. Like, who's gonna be that fighter? Like, that might be something we have to talk about in another video. Like, who in the strawweight division is going to surpass Joanna's title defenses? You know, Joanna's had 5. Who can surpass that? Come on, everybody got 1. Some people got none. Who's gonna do it? Mark Robinson said, "I'm not exactly sure how Valentina and Murphy size up, but Murphy is certainly big, strong, and tough. I think that the only thing she has going for her." Yeah, I think that her being that big and strong, it might pull her through to a decision. Like, it's tough for me to see her get stopped in there. You know, I think that'll definitely get her through a decision, and maybe even get her around, like Jennifer Maia. You know, it might get her around or 2. You know, Stamina said Marcus would get Bruno Mars on and jump on a grenade for her. Dang. Shoot. I'd be like, you got to fight your own fight at night. All right, y'all. Let's see. Let's kick it for another 8 minutes or so. We usually be up here for 2 hours, so yeah, we'll be up here about another 8 or 10 minutes. What else is going on though? Victoria Leonardo and Gatto is fighting Saturday, and then KK and Panay are fighting, and then Torres and Hill in the rematch. And they taking it back to 2014. They are taking back to 2014. I mean, you got Jessica Panay on the card, Carolina, Angela Hill, Tisha Torres. Crazy. Yeah, man. TJ said Murphy gets submitted or a ref stoppage. It's possible, man. It's possible. I just think that her physicality and her ability to, wrestle could save her from certain situations. But I could see her getting controlled and outpointed for sure. Stamina said, "Are we expecting anything except mayhem from Agapova's return versus Mazo?" Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight, man. Like I said, they just have similar builds and they have them similar attacks. Well, Agapova, she'll come out a little bit more with, a little bit more. Let's say, how does she come out? She comes out a little bit more, with a little bit more fire on her. Got a little bit more ferocity in her style, I mean, she used to be a little bit more calculated, but in that Shannon Dobson fight, I don't know what she was doing. Before that, though, she was always like, a very calculated fighter. Mazo, she can be a slow starter, but she hits hard. Similar frames, too, man. Both are long, and they got long kicks, so it's going to be some action in here. And I can see Mazo trying to really go in for a stoppage. Agapova might come out the same way like she did before the Shannon Dobson fight, but she might be a little bit slower. I don't know, but I think we will get some mayhem out of that fight. That's a good matchup. What's the fight date on that one? Let's see. Agapova. What is the fight date? Oh, yeah, October 9th. Okay, yeah, October 9th. All right. Marcus said if Patty tries to finish the fight fast, she will open the Valentina's counters. Yeah, she can't go in there. She can't go in there looking for a quick finish. Valentina can, but she can't. Mark Robertson said, if I was Murphy, I would try to end it fast and quick. Oh, that's what you're responding to. End it fast and quick before I get tired. Maybe even empty the tank. I never seen Valentina swarm. Certainly not hurt and swarm. Could be interesting. Last person that did try to swarm her, like Juliana Pena, they got submitted. So I don't know if swarming, but maybe just making it uncomfortable. And by uncomfortable, I mean just really taking Valentina out of her element and off balance. That's like your best chance. And even then, you don't want to gas out. You just got to make it uncomfortable. Yeah. Hold on. You're not seeing it because all such attempts do so fail. She's too good. Counter striker. Nobody at 115 has both speed and power to be a cause for pause for Shevchenko. Yeah. Yeah, nobody's ever really been able to put it all together like that, So I think somebody at Lauren Murphy's age too, you have to factor in age too and what she's used to. I don't think that would be a wise decision, especially for 5 rounds. Because, you know, she came out against Andrea Lee kind of fast. And, you know, as soon as Andrea Lee put hands on her, you know, she started putting, you know, hands on. Andrea Lee started touching up Lauren Murphy's face. She kind of had to slow down. You know, she kind of had to change the pace of the fight. So, you know, if somebody like Andrea Lee was putting hands that quick and body kicks on her and slowed her down in the first round, it's not going to be wise for you to do that in a 5-round fight with Shevchenko. You know, Juliana Pena kind of pressing the action. There were some smart moments, but then there were some moments where she just messed up, man, where she just was, I don't know, like she was being too predictable with the knees to the body, man, you know. TJ said from left field, I know, but what odd ab definition aggressive? What? Oh, her ab definition on Alexa Grasso. You mean odd, like just how her 6-pack grows in? Like I've noticed, I've kind of noticed the standout about it. Like, I mean, I'll kind of second look at it, you know. TJ, I kind of second look at it sometimes. Like when I see Tisha Torres, I'm like, oh, you know, Tisha's got a, you know, great physique. I mean, same thing with Alexa. Just I know what you mean. It looks a little different though. Yeah, even stamina, you notice. Yeah, I noticed that too before. I mean, I might do more videos talking about physiques and stuff like that with fighters, because I was just looking at Tisha Torres' arms, man, at the press conference today. And I was like, man, Tisha is like great shape, man. Like, if I had to pick like a top 5 WMMA fighters with best physiques, you know, Tisha Torres is definitely going to be in there. You know, she's definitely got to be in there. But yeah, I know what you're talking about with Alexa Grasso's, with her abs. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, I was like looking at Tisha's arms, man. I was like, dang, like Tisha is jacked, man. Like Tisha's always had that solid build, man. Like if I did like a top 10 best physiques in WMMA, maybe I'll do a video like that. I mean, she's definitely in there. Because, I mean, you know, looking a certain way, you know, that's motivation for getting healthy too, right? I mean, staying in shape and working out, I mean, it's part of the game too. Yeah, like it's like that valley in there, you know, the valley is like that, like canal, or is it that valley in between? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I noticed it, but I'm just saying it's like a canal or something. Yeah, man. So who else would I say? Yeah, Jinu Fry does. Yeah, Jinu Fry is also a fighter with a great shape. You know, I've always noticed her as like a standout MMA fighter that, you know, not only is she a fighter, but I mean, there could be like a fitness model or something. Like Tisha, Jinu Fry. I mean, there's a few of them, but I just can't think of them right now. I know Kat used to have that physique too at like 135. She was like somebody I used to think had like that fitness model physique. Not really like the bodybuilders and such, you know, not like the female bodybuilder, but just like the fitness model look. You know, she had that look to her. Like Kat did. This Kat, I always thought Kat Zingano did. Yeah, Julia Budd does too. I mean, she's huge though. You know, she's pretty big. Oh man. But yeah, guys, it's time to get up out of here for tonight. Let's see, probably be back on tomorrow and do some picks for the weekend coming. So yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat coming through today. You know, talked about some good stuff. You know, flyweight division is always on fire as of lately. You know, and I think it's crazy. Yeah, we were so thinking low expectations on it, but I think all around it just has good fights. You know, flyweights just bring good fights. Like, strawweight's still my favorite, but this is becoming a close up there because it's just a lot of action going on. Of course, it's maybe not on the same skill set with some of these fighters, but as far as just like entertaining, it is definitely entertaining. Stamina said vintage Claudia had a great shape. Yeah, Claudia does. Yeah, Claudia 2015. So yeah, oh yeah, and Albu. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, wasn't a great fighter, but could have been a fitness model. Definitely great shape. Alexander Albu and Felice Herrig. Yeah, Whaley. Yeah, Whaley. That's another one. Hannah Goldie does too. Hannah Goldie has a nice shape too, man. Like that girl is jacked, man. Like, I mean, Hannah Goldie in this last fight, I mean, damn, like you see her traps, her shoulders. I was like, wow. Yeah, Hannah Goldie, as the most recent. Yeah, somebody else I couldn't think of. But yeah, I remember Albu. Yeah, she went on her losing streak and gone. Yeah, the way Felice looks too. I mean, a lot of hers has to be just like natural muscle because she's been keeping hers like throughout her whole career. Like she's always had a level of ripness that you think some people are just born with that. Like some people are just born with that type of muscle build. Yep. But yeah, man, we'll probably jump back on a little bit later tomorrow, maybe about 7. We'll probably do 7 tomorrow, but it definitely had to come on today and we'll talk. We had to talk flyweights. But yeah, like always, guys, make sure y'all subscribe. Shout out to everybody coming through. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. And yeah, if you couldn't make it in here, just leave comments in the comment section on how you feel about these flyweight fights. And Stamina right there. One more thing. He said 2021. Yeah. Like, yeah, one of the pictures I had posted of Miesha Tate. Yeah, that another fitness model build. Like, I used to think she did have that build before, but yeah, like now, Miesha Tate now, yeah, like her build is very, very much like a fitness model. Yeah. And of course, Holly Holm, you know, she's one that has also a good physique as well. Holly Holm. Yeah. Taylor Santos is a bit built too, you know. Taylor's got guns. Taylor does. Angela Hill does. You know, Angela Hill's really been getting ripped as of lately too. You know, I mean, she's always been kind of ripped, but Angela Hill's always had guns too. You know, Angela has a nice physique. So Angela Hill would be up there because I remember when she hit the tough scene, I was like, dang, this girl's got big arms. Doesn't hit that hard. You know, Angela Hill don't got a lot of power, but she's got the guns. You know? But all right, man. This time I'm out, guys. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.